Now I'm starting this video thinking whether I'll get into any hot soup with Nvidia because I'm going to share my unpleasant experience with the RTX 3060 8 gigs. Well, I actually I've recorded a session earlier thinking that this is going to be just an 8 gigs versus 12 gigs comparison. Admittedly, I was so busy I didn't even look at the reviews of the other 8 gigs model review, so I did not know what I was getting into. Yes, I admit that. So yep, it's my own cost, and you guys know what to do if you can want to help me out with this. So let's get back to this thing. Now the RTX 3060 8 gigs is a very strange release. I mean, without looking at any reviews, you thought this just the difference is the VRAM between 12 gigs and 8 gigs, but there's actually more than just that. We are looking at the difference of the memory bus, of which the 12 gigs has 192-bit, while the 8 gigs it's down to 128-bit. So what's the difference? Now, if you look at the specs on Nvidia's website, they don't say anything, and if you go to various product pages, you see that the memory is stated of the same speed. Not everyone stated the bandwidth, and some they may actually quote the 8 gigs having same bandwidth as the 12 gigs, which is incorrect. I don't blame them. Maybe the people update their website are not technical enough, but you should know. I have a video about calculating the bandwidth before, and strangely it was about the RTX 3060 12 gigs and how it's not comparable to let's say a 3060 Ti or 3070. But now we are back to bandwidth calculation again, but I'm not going to do any bandwidth calculation for this one. You just have to load up GPU-Z. You can download from Tech Power Up. GPU-Z, this software will show you the bandwidth of which this card, unlike the 3060 at the 360 gigabits or gigabytes per second bandwidth, this one is just at 226, which is very low. And with that, how does it impact the performance? The 8 gigs card, to what I saw, the price is just about RM100, or in US dollars about 20 something, 20 to 25 depending on the exchange rate. So the price difference is not that much actually. But check out this benchmark that I did. So from the numbers you can see that there is a lot of difference. Basically every game the difference is like some 20%, meaning that the 8 gigs model is some 20% behind. But then there's this outlier, which is Far Cry 6, which is the one I wish to highlight. Now this game saw a massive difference. The 12 gigs version is some 60% plus, over 60% faster. Why? Basically, or if you want to put it, because it's 60 frames, around 60 frames per second versus 100 frames per second, so you're talking about some 66% increase in performance. Or you just based on that 60 versus 100, yeah, 8 gigs version being around 60% the performance of that one. Why? Why is there such a huge difference? From what I see, it is the matter of the bandwidth. Now, not every game will have this issue, but this one shows a lot. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to show every single clip, but now for this purpose of this discussion, I'm going to show you a side by side of the 8 gigs and 12 gigs version. So let's go with that one first. Alright, so now we are back. what did you observe? Now, did you notice that the 8 gigs model has the VRAM full all the time, and that the 12 gigs, the VRAM was just at about 5 gigs? Same game, why is there such a difference? Now, based on my, I'm not too technical of these things, but from what I see is that the 12 gigs version has greater bandwidth, so the data can go in and out to the VRAM faster, right? While the 8 gigs, it's stuck, it's on maximum load, so the system, the game, everything is just trying its best to clear and replace with whatever is needed to process the game. And here's the more interesting thing, which I find, which I was surprised. Actually, I did the benchmark twice because I couldn't believe the number dropped so low. And as I was doing the benchmark, I noticed something else. Now, it is not just the frame rate getting hit. The image detail dropped, and it dropped a lot. Now, this is not the same case as, I wouldn't say this is the same case as the one for what Hardware Unboxed did, you know, the 3070 versus the 6800. But it's along the lines of that. Now, what they did was tested with Hogwarts and pushed the everything to highest maximum, and to what I understand, with the Hogwarts latest patch, things have improved. But this is not the case here. Far Cry 6 is a 2021 game and has ran flawlessly on RTX 3060. I've been through with so many RTX 3060, I know how it is. That's why I was so shocked to see the numbers from a 3060 8 gigs. So back to what I was saying about image quality, let's look at the image. So this is the scene that I took, which I think shows the most. First, we look at the lower corner here, of which you can see the text is, there's a huge difference between what is readable and what is not. And let's go to the other side where we see the graffiti and some other text. Notice how distinct the difference is between these two. And we don't have to go through every area, so let's go to the last one, which is the truck that is in the middle of the scene. Notice that the difference, there's such a huge difference in the detail. So that this 8 gigs model costs less, right? But not in certain games like Far Cry 6 here. It is a rather old game, 2 years, depending on how you look at it. But it's, I mean, at least it's not that recent of a game. And then it not just has a frame rate hit, but it is having image quality hit. Now, who knows what other games will face the same. From my experience, the one that I can distinctly see is this one, because I ran the benchmark so many times. I know something was off. It's kind of like running, you know, the early generation of DLSS where it's a smudgy kind of feel. Yeah, I mean, facing that before. So, but in this case, it's not a matter of that, but rather looks like the game itself, the game engine, drops the image quality. And with that, I actually do not know how to end this video, but just saying that the card was fine. They dropped the bus width, and this is what you can experience with this the 8 gigs model. So TLDR, should you consider this 8 gigs model? Well, the price, like I said, it's not much of a difference. So for some reason you cannot afford that one, that little price gap, you want to get the 8 gigs model, fine, okay, but do know that you are settling for an RTX 3060 with lesser frame rate, so the price to performance would be not as good as the one on the 12 gigs model. And because games are actually, Far Cry 6 is a 2021 game and games are getting more demanding, so if you're intending to play modern games, 60 frames per second with as much as or towards the higher detail side, you may actually face some performance hit. In this case, you can see how the cards are just different on the bus, and yet the frame rate fluctuation, depending on the game title, is So it can sway either way from 20% to even 60%. So that's it for this one. Yeah, basically TLDR, you know what to do from this one. Um, Come to just thought of the 4060. The 4060 is coming out end of this month. So based on my experience with the 3060 8 gigs 128-bit bus card, the 4060, I believe, I don't have the specs yet, but it's pretty obvious gonna be GDDR6 128-bit bus, cannot be higher than 4060 Ti, and better, probably a faster GPU, and I don't know whether they'll improve the RAM speed for greater this overall bandwidth, but I am inclined to believe that the 4060 will have a dismal performance because we had such a good run with the 3060. Seriously, I have no idea what Nvidia is actually doing because like 10 series 10 series was, I believe, okay, though there are some gaps I wish you can fill properly. 20 series, there was a super letdown where they came in with a super series. Kind of spoiled the market price and all. 30 series was pretty good actually. It's just too bad the situation turned bad, the price was good and then bad again. Now 40 series, I actually like the 4070 to 4090. I'm actually using a 4080 myself. I do plan to get a 4070 12 gigs, but 4060 kinda I need to try out the 4060 myself. But for the 4060, based on my experience on the 3060 8 gigs 128-bit, I'm actually don't have any good feel towards it. So that's basically this one. I don't know how my intended video of 3060 8 gig versus 12 gig ended up become an analysis of the performance hit and all that. But that aside, I hope you enjoyed this video. You guys know what to do. I need not tell you how to help me out, as all these things my own cost. And with that, I'll end this video with a side-by-side comparison, and you can see for yourself how the frame rate and the VRAM fluctuates between these two cards. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. And yep, if you see that I'm looking a bit tired, because yeah, I had quite a long day for a few days, and well, production is still something that I must get moving, and so it is. Bye bye.
El código de declaración de la RTX morada. Las personas mayores están en